There is an object so extraordinary that no machine humanity has ever built can truly replicate it. Not the most powerful supercomputer, not artificial intelligence, not a quantum processor. It weighs barely 1.5 kilograms, soft, silent, fragile. You carry it every moment of your life. Inside that small space, every memory you've ever kept, every face you've ever loved, every fear you've ever hidden, every dream you've ever forgotten, every decision, every hope, every regret has existed. Somehow, 3 pounds of living tissue create an entire universe. Not a metaphor, a literal universe. The blue sky, music, pain, love, language, time, the feeling of being alive. All of it exists because billions of tiny living cells exchange microscopic bursts of electricity inside complete darkness. And perhaps the strangest part is this: the brain itself has never seen light. It has never heard music. It has never touched another human being. It floats in complete silence, inside a skull, yet somehow creates everything you have ever experienced. How? How can darkness produce a world filled with color? How can chemistry produce consciousness? And how can billions of unconscious cells create one conscious you? Tonight, we travel inside the most complex object ever discovered, the human brain. Chapter 1. The most complex object ever found. Every galaxy is magnificent. Every star is powerful. Black holes distort space itself. Yet many neuroscientists argue that the most complex structure currently known in the observable universe is sitting inside your head. The average human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons. Each neuron is a living cell, but unlike ordinary cells, neurons communicate. Each one forms thousands of connections with others. The result is estimated to be more than 100 trillion synaptic connections, a network so unimaginably vast that if every synapse were a single star, your brain would contain more connections than there are stars in our galaxy. Think about that. The Milky Way contains roughly 100 billion stars. Your brain contains even more communication pathways, not scattered across 100,000 light years, but compressed inside your skull. No engineer designed it, no factory assembled it. It grew, cell by cell, connection by connection. Long before you learned your first word, your brain was already building itself. Every experience, every sound, every touch, every face reshaped its architecture. You were not born with a finished brain. You were born with a brain that learned how to become you. Even now, while you listen to these words, your brain is physically changing. Tiny connections strengthen, others weaken. New pathways emerge, old pathways disappear. Your thoughts are leaving physical traces inside living tissue. Learning literally changes the structure of your brain. This ability is called neuroplasticity. It is one of the greatest discoveries in modern neuroscience. You are not using the same brain you had yesterday, because yesterday changed it. Every experience rewrites the machine that experiences the next one. What if your brain isn't waiting for reality to arrive? What if it is constantly predicting reality before your senses even finish collecting it? If that's true, then you are not simply observing the world. You are actively constructing it, every single second. And in the next chapter, we'll discover why modern neuroscience increasingly describes the brain, not as a camera, but as a prediction machine. Chapter 2. Electricity becomes thought. But neurons alone explain nothing. A neuron is only a cell. What matters is what happens when billions begin communicating. Imagine standing above the largest city on Earth, every road alive with movement. Cars, lights, signals, messages. Now multiply that complexity millions of times. Inside your brain, billions of neurons constantly exchange information. Not through words, not through images, not through language, through electricity. Every thought begins with an electrical event. Scientists call it an action potential. A tiny pulse of electricity travels along a neuron like a wave racing down a wire. When it reaches the end, something extraordinary happens. The electrical signal cannot simply jump to the next neuron. There is a microscopic gap between them, a space called the synapse. Here, electricity transforms into chemistry. Tiny messenger molecules, called neurotransmitters, are released into the gap. They drift across microscopic space, bind to the neighboring neuron, and trigger another electrical impulse. Electricity becomes chemistry, which becomes electricity again. This process repeats millions of billions of times, every single second, without pause, without rest, without you ever noticing. Every heartbeat you ignore, every sentence you understand, every memory you recall, every movement of your hand depends on this endless conversation. You never hear it, yet your entire existence depends upon it. There is no tiny screen inside your head, no miniature orchestra performing sounds, no painter creating colors. There are only neurons communicating through electrical and chemical signals, and yet, from this silent exchange emerges Beethoven, Shakespeare, the laughter of a child, the smell of rain, the warmth of a mother's embrace, the memory of your first love. How? Science can describe the signals. It can measure voltage. It can identify neurotransmitters. It can observe neurons firing. But describing electricity is not the same as explaining experience. Somewhere between electrical pulses and conscious awareness, one of the greatest mysteries in science still remains. And that mystery is where our journey truly begins. Chapter 3. The prediction machine for centuries. People believed the brain worked like a camera. The world happened first, and the brain simply recorded it. Light entered the eyes, sound entered the ears, information arrived, and the brain responded. Simple, logical, comforting. But modern neuroscience paints a very different picture. What if your brain isn't waiting for reality? What if it is constantly trying to predict it? Long before your conscious mind becomes aware of the world, your brain has already begun guessing what is about to happen. This idea, known as predictive processing, has become one of the most influential theories in cognitive neuroscience. Neuroscientist Carl Friston proposed that the brain functions as a prediction engine. Every second, it builds an internal model of reality. Not yesterday, not every minute, every fraction of a second. It constantly asks one question: what is most likely to happen next? Then, instead of building reality from nothing, it compares its prediction against incoming sensory information. If the prediction is correct, very little changes. If reality surprises the brain, a prediction error occurs. The model updates, the brain learns, then it predicts again. This cycle never stops, even while you sleep. Imagine walking through your own home at night. The lights are off. You don't carefully examine every object. Your brain already knows where the sofa is, where the door should be, where the table stands. You are not discovering your house. You are confirming your brain's prediction of it. But move the chair without telling yourself. Suddenly, your foot strikes solid wood. Pain explodes through your body. Not because the chair appeared, because your prediction failed. Your brain expected empty space. Reality disagreed, and that tiny disagreement changed your experience. Life is filled with moments like this. You finish someone's sentence before they speak. You recognize a friend's face before focusing on every feature. You read entire words Without examining each letter, your brain predicts, then confirms, then moves on. Most of the time, you never notice, because prediction is usually accurate. Reality feels immediate, effortless, continuous. But underneath, your brain is working at astonishing speed. It fills missing information, corrects errors, removes distractions, creates stability. Without prediction, the world would feel overwhelming. Every sound, every color, every movement would arrive as meaningless chaos. Prediction transforms chaos into experience. Chapter 4. The world you never see. Think about your vision. Your eyes are constantly moving. Tiny, rapid movements, called saccades, occur several times every second. Every movement briefly disrupts incoming visual information. If your conscious experience reflected those interruptions, your world would constantly shake, jump, and blur. But it doesn't. Why? Because your brain edits reality. It removes the interruptions, stitches together separate moments, creates one smooth experience. You never see what your eyes actually receive. You see what your brain believes the world should look like. Now consider your blind spot. Every human eye contains one. A small region of the retina contains no light-sensitive cells. It literally cannot detect visual information. There is a hole inside every image you see, yet you've probably never noticed it. Why? Because your brain quietly fills in the missing information. It invents what should be there, not randomly, using context, memory, prediction. You are looking through an incomplete camera. Your brain completes the picture without asking permission, without informing you. Imagine reading this sentence. Every word feels complete. Every letter appears visible. But scientifically, your brain is filling missing information continuously. Reality feels seamless because your brain edits it into existence. The same process happens with sound. Conversation in a noisy room, a familiar melody interrupted by static, a sentence partially covered by another voice. Often, you still understand perfectly because your brain predicts the missing pieces. Reality is not simply received, it is reconstructed again and again and again, every waking moment. That realization changes something profound. You are not experiencing the world exactly as it exists. You are experiencing the brain's best prediction of what probably exists. Most of the time, that prediction is remarkably accurate, remarkably useful, remarkably reliable, but not always. And when prediction overwhelms reality, the results become astonishing. Dreams, hallucinations, false memories, even certainty itself can be created without being true. Tonight, you've discovered that your brain is constantly predicting reality before you consciously experience it. But what happens when prediction continues, even while your eyes are closed? What happens when there is no outside world to compare against? Every night, your brain answers that question. It creates entire worlds, people, voices, places, emotions, stories, all while lying in complete darkness. If the brain can create a convincing reality during sleep, what does that reveal about the reality you experience when you're awake? That question takes us to the greatest mystery yet. Chapter 5. The brain never sleeps. When night falls, you close your eyes. The world disappears. The room becomes silent. Your body lies still. From the outside, it appears that everything has stopped. But inside your skull, an entire universe awakens. The human brain never truly rests. Even during sleep, billions of neurons continue their endless conversation. Electrical impulses race through neural networks. Memories are replayed. Emotions are processed. Connections are strengthened. Others quietly disappear. One of the most fascinating discoveries in neuroscience is that sleep is not simply a period of inactivity. It is a period of reconstruction. Throughout the day, your brain gathers an unimaginable amount of information. Faces, voices, conversations, movements, emotions, decisions, experiences, but it cannot keep everything. During sleep, it begins sorting. Some memories become permanent. Others are discarded forever. Like a librarian organizing an endless collection, the brain decides what becomes part of you. Scientists have discovered that during deep sleep, patterns of neural activity from the day are replayed, almost as if the brain is rehearsing reality, strengthening important pathways, removing unnecessary noise, preparing you for tomorrow. Then comes dreaming. Perhaps the strangest experience of all. Inside a dream, you rarely question the impossible. You speak with people who no longer exist. You visit places you've never seen. Time stretches, gravity disappears, logic dissolves. Yet while it is happening, everything feels completely real. Why? Because during a dream, the same brain that constructs your waking reality continues constructing another one. Without light, without sound, without the outside world, your brain creates an entire universe from within itself. And only when you wake do you recognize it as a dream. That should leave us with an uncomfortable question. If the brain can create a convincing world while asleep, how does it convince you that the waking world feels different? Chapter 6. False reality. We often trust memory, as if it were a recording, a perfect archive of the past. But modern psychology tells us something surprising. Memory is not a recording, it is a reconstruction. Every time you remember an event, your brain rebuilds it. Not perfectly, but approximately. Small details change. Emotions influence recollection. New information quietly slips into old memories. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus spent decades demonstrating how easily memory can be altered. In controlled experiments, people became convinced they had experienced events that never happened. Some remembered being lost as children, others remembered crimes they never witnessed, not because they were lying, because the brain sincerely believed its own reconstruction. Then neuroscience uncovered something even stranger. In the 1960s, Roger Sperry and later Michael Gazzaniga studied patients whose corpus callosum, the bridge connecting the brain's two hemispheres, had been surgically divided to treat severe epilepsy. The results challenged our understanding of the self. The two hemispheres could process information independently. Sometimes, one hand performed an action, while the conscious mind invented a completely different explanation for why it happened. The brain did not admit, "I don't know." Instead, it created a story. Scientists call this confabulation. The brain prefers a believable explanation over an empty space. Think about that. How many of the reasons you confidently give for your own decisions are genuine causes, and how many are stories, constructed after the fact? That question continues to challenge neuroscience today. Chapter 7. The hardest question in science. By now, we have followed electricity through neurons. We have watched chemistry become thought. We have seen memories rewritten, dreams created, reality predicted, illusions exposed. Science has explained an extraordinary amount. And yet, one question remains untouched. Perhaps the greatest unanswered question in all of neuroscience. Why does any of it become an experience? Imagine building the most advanced robot ever created. It sees, it hears, it learns, it predicts, it remembers. Every circuit functions perfectly. Every calculation is correct. Would that machine feel anything? Would it experience the color blue? Would music move it? Would loss break its heart? Or would it simply process information without awareness? This is what philosopher David Chalmers famously called the hard problem of consciousness. Science can explain how information is processed. It can measure electrical activity. It can identify the regions involved in language, memory, vision, emotion. But nowhere inside the brain has anyone discovered where experience itself begins. There is no neuron labeled love, no circuit called pain, no single location where consciousness appears. Researchers have proposed remarkable ideas. The global workspace theory suggests consciousness emerges when information becomes widely available across many brain systems. Integrated information theory argues that consciousness depends on how deeply information is integrated within a system. Both theories continue to inspire research. Neither has solved the mystery completely, because the question remains: why should electrical activity feel like something from the inside? Perhaps that is the greatest scientific mystery humanity has ever encountered. Everything you've ever loved, everything you've ever feared, every memory, every dream, every hope for tomorrow has existed because billions of neurons exchanged tiny electrical signals inside complete darkness. Science has mapped those neurons, measured their electricity, observed their chemistry, predicted many of their behaviors, but one mystery remains. How does matter become mind? How does electricity become experience? How does a silent universe of neurons become you? Perhaps the greatest mystery is not somewhere beyond the stars. Perhaps it has always been waiting inside your own head. And if the brain constructs your reality, then one final question remains: who is experiencing the brain? Because our next journey is not into the brain, it is into the boundary between reality and simulation.